Hello and welcome to another installment of Digging Documents, the show where we dig into documents related to theme parks. My name is Alicia Stella. Today we are digging into a patent from Universal called System and Method for Modular Ride Vehicles. Usually I have a theory on what something might have been designed for or how it could be used for a certain property. Despite the little T-Rex here, I am not exactly sure what this one is for, but what caught my eye is that it looks like a modern version of the moving theater concept as seen in the Great Movie Ride, or more specifically, Universe of Energy, where in this picture, it looks like you're in a theater and then the seats break up and then move through a ride individually as ride vehicles. So I just wanted to dig a little bit deeper into that. And if you've been following for a long time, you may be reminded of another patent called the Moving Puzzle Theater. Also can start as what looks like a solid theater and then again break into smaller pieces, which can move in different ways or even pass over one another. And you will be happy to know that the inventor of both of these is the same person. So congrats if you did think of it. You're right, they're very similar. But this one's for a ride vehicle and the other one's for a theater show. The theater show was specifically designed for a concept for a Zelda, Legends of Zelda show, which was pitched as part of the overall pitch to secure the Nintendo theme park rights. And I don't know if it ever made it further than just a pitch, but I haven't heard any rumors for a ride system that would break apart. But I'm very interested in this concept, where not only do you break apart, but it's okay, bye, and you go in a different direction. So the overall descriptions say you can move together as a big cluster, you can move together as smaller clusters. The ride vehicle modules may be essentially seamlessly linked by an interlock system in a way that they appear as one uniform ride vehicle. In other words, patrons may get the impression that they are entering one completely integral and unified ride vehicle, when in fact it is a cluster of plurality of ride vehicle modules linked together. So it could break apart later and you would be surprised. It gets into some details where you can see there's some images here. Not only would it be connected together, but the circuitry could be linked together and it could be on a motion platform. Is that what figure 2 is? Let's go to the figures. Figure 1A through 1F are schematic diagrams showed how ride vehicle segments, beginning with a uniform ride vehicle with 4 segment parts, each with rows of seating. That's this. The motion-based systems may be controlled together to move, pitch, roll, vibrate, surge, heave, sway, the uniform ride vehicle, which is made up of ride vehicle modules, as one integrated unit. What a gigantic motion-based theater. During the course of the ride, the uniform ride vehicle may be triggered to split apart, perform delinking operations by computer instructions stored on a I love this example. It could be in response to an event occurring in the ride, such as a simulated crash, explosion, natural disaster, dinosaur animal attack, and so forth. As a result, figure 1B describes an embodiment of the uniform ride vehicle performing delinking operations to split along jagged lines. The split may be performed horizontally as well. And then each vehicle module may be enabled to move independently. I like figure 1E, where the actual moving ride segment can break away from existing parts. Like in this case, a border. The border is around here. You enter in through the doorways here on the ride vehicle. But here, at this part, your ride section is breaking away from the walls that were part of your theater or ride vehicle. And now you're separate. In some embodiments, the ceiling may be physically removed by a robot For example, a robot decorated to look like a dinosaur or a giant, located within the ride, and the sidewall of the ride vehicle may immediately retract underneath the ride vehicle. And then 1F, the ride vehicle module may be an intermediate uniform ride vehicle and include a plurality of seats, which may be attached to their own individual ride vehicle modules. Thus, during the course of the ride, the intermediate uniform ride vehicle may perform delinking operations to break apart as many times as desired until every single seat and its ride vehicle module are operating independently. So, your rows of seats break into 4 sections, break away from the walls, and then your seats start to what? Float away? For example, a patron may end the ride floating in a canoe down a river alone. Well, that's just madness. There's no way. All right, now moving on to figure 2. This is a perspective view of ride vehicle modules that are linked together and can perform as a single integrated unit. And by coordinating the motion bases beneath them, you can actually all move together as if this is 1/4 of a motion base platform here instead of an individual one. So instead of just this thing moving, all of them are moving together. Talks about how it can be synchronized with a visual display and audio for the motion base, like a simulator. And the motion base can be on wheels. Aw, it's pictured. It's so cute. Motion base got little wheels on it that enable driving or connecting to a track. That's funny. It actually says wire guidance system as an example. Wire guided. So just straight up the moving theater from Great Movie Ride and Universe of Energy as an example here. But unlike those rides, actually linked together to appear solid. And like those rides, it could include a onboard rechargeable battery. And it could include conductive receptors mounted to the bottom of the ride vehicles that connect to inductive ground plates. So exactly the same as the moving theaters at Disney World. And turning now to figures 4A and 4A to 4D. Generally, the connection line between linked ride vehicle modules may be hidden through the use of patterns, indentations, lighting, shadowing, overlapping materials, for example, carpet, and so forth. By utilizing a zigzag pattern, the pattern may be part of a carpet installed. Ooh, good old 90s movie theater carpet. Now, not as interested in this, although this is probably the meat of the whole thing, describing how they could actually lock together and de-lock together. Unlike the Disney moving theater rides probably never actually touched. They were just parked in front of one another. This one literally will connect together. Okay, here's the fun ones. 6A and 6B include perspective views of an embodiment of an airplane ride vehicle and illustrates its delinking capability in accordance with the present disclosure. And it says, of course, not only does it have to be two sides here, but it could be different compartments of the airplane front and back. And then the walls and ceilings may be joined together in a way that patrons may not realize that they break apart. I mean, I live for this type of stuff where you wouldn't know that your ride vehicle is about to literally be ripped apart by a dinosaur. They tried to do something with Jaws, the first version, where Jaws pulls your boat and the connection between the shark and the boat never really worked. In Beijing, the original concept for the Jurassic World Adventure ride had it suspended, and you were being attacked by the Indominus Rex, who would move your vehicle around like Confrontation did, without actually touching it, but giving the appearance of it from outside. So, like, these ideas never really die, and they always try to bring it back. Even the rumored concept for the Avengers e-ticket at California Adventure had it like Flight of Passage, where you're in a Quinjet though, and instead of the fake wall lifting up at the beginning of Flight of Passage, the wall is the windows, and you have to eject out of your Quinjet, and the wall of the Quinjet flies away. So it looks like you're escaping the Quinjet, and then you're on a rocket pack. And that reminds me of this, but this has a dinosaur. So slightly different, ballet of moving parts here. But they have other examples besides a dinosaur. For example, the airplane ride vehicle may crash into a mountain or enter a massive storm that causes it to break apart, among other things. Rawr. Like Barney the dinosaur attacking. Oh, here's the moving theater. This is what got me into it in the first place. Movie theater ride vehicle. Now, okay. This is a patent by Universal. I just want to reiterate. And I know it looks like something like Great Movie Ride or Universe of Energy, but wouldn't it be great? I mean, wouldn't it be wonderful if they were thinking about designing their own Universal's Great Movie Ride? Wouldn't that be awesome? Where it started with a movie screen and then you break apart and go into the movie. Come on. All right, so includes 4 linked ride vehicle modules linked at the connection lines. The movie theater ride vehicle may include walls and ceilings, represented here by dashed lines. As a result, patrons may perceive the room as a regular movie theater. That is, the patrons may not even realize that they have entered a ride at all. Instead, patrons may be under the impression that they are in some sort of movie simulator that does not move or break apart. Oh, so you think you're going into like the Fallon ride. Oh, you just think you're going into another Universal simulator ride, and then it breaks apart and goes into a ride. A dark ride. That'd be pretty cool. 7B illustrates the movie theater's ride vehicle's capability to delink the ride vehicle modules. Further, the ride vehicle module's walls or ceiling previously shown may be detachable and or removable. The walls or ceiling may be removed by a robot, mechanical arm, or the like. What's an example of a movie theater breaking apart? The movie theater ride vehicle may simulate a natural disaster that may affect normal movie theaters, such as an earthquake, tremor, or the like. Or the video display screen may be showing a meteor shower in 3-dimensional simulation, and a stray meteorite could crash into the screen. Oh, that would be cool. You're just watching the thing. It's like all different clips of like Universal movies, and then all of a sudden, what's a meteor one? Deep Impact? It's not Armageddon. Anyway. The ride vehicle modules then can travel together, or may travel down different paths through simulated streets in a downtown city trying to escape an earthquake, while another ride vehicle attaches to a roller coaster and flies away from a simulated tornado, alien spacecraft, dinosaur, or the like in an airplane. Whoa, hold on now. Hold on. This is getting intense. So wait, this is insinuating that different ride sections could have different ride experiences? I guess the Great Movie Ride had an explosion in the Wild West scene or a shootout in the gangster scene, so why not have one that goes down a river or one that gets picked up by an airplane? Why not? Both paths may include different stories, simulations, and movements. Indeed, either or both paths may include roller coaster tracks that the intermediate uniform ride vehicles may connect to, water chutes or water bodies that the intermediate uniform ride vehicles may float through, pavement that the ride vehicles may drive on, and so forth. 8B is a top-down view, or another event may occur later in the ride. Okay, so you're one big movie theater. Something terrible happens and breaks you into smaller pieces. Then those smaller pieces go on different paths, which may or may not have completely different experiences. Maybe I sat on the mild side and I go through floaty stuff, or maybe I sat on the wild side and I go through roller coaster stuff. I don't know. But then, just in case you forgot, we could then take them and split them into even smaller little pieces, which I don't foresee ever happening, but it's neat that this patent is like, whoa, you think we blew your mind? Just hold on. So you would obtain different experiences. This may encourage rewriting of the attraction multiple times to experience all the different paths. And at some point, you may want to reconnect after the 2 different paths, and you're going to reconnect for the ending of the ride. This may be in response to some event that occurs during the ride that may be part of the story, For example, in a ride where the patrons and ride vehicles are blood cells in the human body traveling through veins, the blood cells may reunite when coming into an artery or the like. Or in a ride where the patrons and ride vehicles are fighter jets, the fighter jets may return to the aircraft carrier at the end of a mission. Okay, well that one actually, that makes sense. Or you could end in separate exit platforms, or you never actually reunite and you just get off the ride in a different unload area. That's kind of cool too. And then it would not reunite until after it exits the unload and goes to load. I'm just walking away from this thinking, you know what? Great movie ride. This is all this is. You cannot, if anything, Universal's great disaster movie ride would be a really cool concept. From the examples given, I think it would be really neat if you were watching like Frank Kincaid's new disaster film and then you become part of it. And you, depending on which section of the 4 sections of seats, you get 4 completely different rides. There's been lots of ideas for like a trackless ride system so that you can have different places to go or whatever. But I like the idea of, even this is a tracked concept or even a guide wire concept, it still has rewritability for different paths. I mean, who knows if anything will actually come of something like this, or if anything will come of the puzzle theater. The idea that you could go down one path and it's roller coaster and one path and it's not is absurd to me, but it like in the best way. Just for an idea, some of the other stuff that they were working on that also recently was published is like this video game ride, which on its surface looks like it's going to be for Mario Kart, but as I started to look deeper into it, this one also has the opportunity to go down different paths depending on user input, where you might be able to go through multiple ways. So putting something like this video game ride together with concepts like this, there definitely seemed like some people at Universal were exploring concepts that have definitely some rewritability. You know, some either randomized or depending on what section of the seating you're in, or in this case, the video game one, what you choose to do or how good of a player you are might take you down different paths. So the future of theme parks is, it's not just screens and it's not just interactivity only on screen rides. Maybe interactivity could exist on the Great Movie Ride. And maybe a meteorite hits the theater and splits it all into different pieces, and then we go through the Back to the Future scene. I can dream. Tell me what you think. Okay, thanks for joining us. Bye.